Happy Tuesday night, everyone. Jason with the Simpademic, and I'm coming at you here with a pretty simple message here tonight. And if you are in simp mode right now, or if you're doing anything to try to impress a woman, and if you have some grand gesture planned up to basically announce to the entire world that you are interested, scale it back for just a second here and just consider this possibility. In fact, it's not even just a possibility. I believe it's a truth. It's not the grand gestures that make the difference or necessarily get the girl. A lot of times it's the small ones. I have two cases in which that worked for me. And neither of them were particularly intentional. As I mentioned before on this channel, I had one where I basically just complimented on her hair after she came into work one morning. And we're in the entryway together, and I just mentioned, she said it was a poodle dog look, and I said, hey, look, I don't care what kind of breed you're comparing yourself to. It looks amazing. Next thing you know, we're going out to lunch later that week. And off it went. I did not even say that to even try to impress her. I just thought she was a good gal, and it made her feel a little spark that I did not have any intention of doing. And the other case was the traumatic bond girl from high school. The gesture in that particular case was coming out to the football game. And it's in Katy, Texas, which means that I grew up in the area that's basically now considered Central Katy or the Midtown area. Bicycled to Rhodes Stadium, which is in Old Town or original Katy proper. And I just wanted to watch her because, well, and I want to watch a football game too, I'm not going to lie. You know, I came out there because I hadn't been to a game yet. And I wanted to support my friend too, in addition to the team. And once again, I inadvertently lit something that I didn't think existed. We were friends because we had a traumatic bond of being in abusive households with alcohol involved. And it was, actually, it didn't feel like a small gesture to me because obviously I had to bicycle several miles, across much of the city to reach Rhodes Stadium. And fortunately, even though I took my bicycle out there, luckily one of the players was there and had been, I had actually been eating lunch with this group of people, and so he was actually able to get me home. And that, I also wound up with an entirely new group of friends from the gesture on top of that. But it was seemingly a small thing, but she just thought it meant the world. Rhodes Stadium still seats about, I think, 11,000 people. But nobody necessarily came to see the dance, the dance team. But my primary goal was to see my good friend. And I would not find this out until years later. But that night sparked something in her. And again, as I mentioned in that episode, I never thought that, the possibility of just a stand-alone freshman is the word I was looking for. Just a regular ninth grader. The idea of being with a sophomore dance team member was so out of the realm that I never even considered it. I never even thought of the possibility. I certainly didn't have the emotional draw, but I found out several years later that night and that gesture seemingly minor, spark something. So if you're out there right now trying to impress somebody, here's my suggestion. Don't make a grand show of it. Don't try to look like you're trying too hard. Keep it small and keep it simple, because those are the ones that matter. And that goes in most other parts of life as well, not just dating and women and men. So anywho, that's my little spiel for the night. Kind of warms my heart a little bit thinking about it, but just don't make a big simp about it. Speaking of simping, yes, little things can make a thing, but if you're persistent and piling up a whole bunch of little things, that's not good either. It usually just takes one. But if you find yourself at her beck and call constantly, you're simping and you're likely in her friend zone. Because she's going to try to get as many of those little things as possible and use you for that. I'm talking about, by keeping it small and simple, it's usually just one thing. Sometimes it's, most of the time, a lot of times, that's all it takes. And in both cases, one case I didn't even recognize it. I didn't see it. The other case, we were off and running. All for a compliment about her new hairstyle. Does anybody else here have a story along those lines? Because if you do, I'd love to see it in the comments. If you haven't already, and if you like some of my content, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. Right now I drive part-time for DoorDash. And I do deliveries, but someday I wouldn't mind doing this content and replace that. As I mentioned, I'm in an outer exurb of the Twin Cities. Food delivery opportunities in this market are not very strong. And so I would like to be able to replace that someday. So your like and share would be most appreciated. Anyway, thank you so much, folks. We'll see you tomorrow for the midweek edition. Peace out.